in the bottom left here, in the blue, he is the Danish sensation from PSISTORM, MaxPax. In the upper right, in the red for Team Liquid, Clem. He's Clem. And thank you, Gubball team. I work hard on it. So PVT, we saw one from MaxPax earlier where he just kind of dumpstered someone. I don't even remember what he did really. Oh yeah, he dumpstered Keen. That was interesting. I really don't remember what happened in that series. I just know that he 2-0'd it. That's all that matters. Right? Right, exactly. Clem, though, is a different story. Clem has insanely good TVP. I might argue right now, actually, that TVP is his best matchup. Hey, DeckB23, thank you so much for the resub. 2 months in a row is a lot of months. It's non-zero. I do appreciate it. Thank you so much. See, folks, sometimes shilling for yourself, it makes YouTube think you're a raging narcissist because you talk about things other than StarCraft, but sometimes it gets you subs. And that $250 a month is fantastic. But in all seriousness, thank you so much, DankB23. I appreciate the support. Betting 5K on Clem. You know what? I'll buy it. Clem's TVP is very good. MaxPax, his TVP through the first 10 minutes is not very good. I think that's the best way to make a judgment on this. Yeah, eventually you go and he gets in the late game and he's terrifying. And he's so good at making comebacks in this matchup. But there's a reason why he's really good at making comebacks, and that's because he does tend to fall apart a little bit in the early to mid game. There's a reason why he came to promise, he came to notoriety with the MaxPax build with an aggressive opener. Or what might even be called a gimmicky opener. Because it feels like he kind of has to do that. He has to keep throwing those in the works to keep himself somewhat stable. Because if it's just going to be stable TVT, standard TVT over and over again, doesn't really work out for him all that well, as the Adept is going to try to zone out the I don't think that STV should have died, but Clem, he prefers building a orbital as quick as he can rather than keeping that SCV alive. So there is that at the very least. MaxPax gets an SCV. He's able to stay alive here as Marines and Reapers rally out. Means this Adept has to run back. It cannot fight two of these when it's not at full HP, and Clem gets it. Now the trade's not worth it. Single SCV for an Adept. No, please. Please no. Don't do that to me. That's not the good trade. That's not the good. And Clem does not want this series to go long. He said, I waited long enough for MaxPax, or for you versus Rainer. I saw what happened, and that was a long series. I don't want to have to wait much longer. I want my date with Kira in the finals. Hellion drops will be my poison of choice in this game number 1. And of course, for Hellions, they dive in, they drop on a Protoss' head, they one-shot SC, or they one-shot probes, and ideally they get 10, 12, 14. They really make the Protoss sad, and a probe is going to go down to start. So Reaper finding value that it probably should not at this point in the game. It's going to be fine. Now for Hellions, and the natural is MaxPax paying attention, kind of. He's got a partial pull. 4 workers go down. Oh, the lineup, those 6 workers go down. Does it get more? 8, 10, make it 12, make it even more, because there are 3 Hellions still on the map. The entire mineral on the natural is dead, and now, sure, it's only 2 Hellions that remain, but 17 workers have died. MaxPax, he was not, well, he wasn't paying, I don't know if it's not paying attention, his build order was incorrect, whatever it was, he was not where he needed to be. The probes were not pulled as well as they could have been, and 17 workers go down with 2 relatively healthy Hellions still in play. The counter drop, the follow-up, is pretty powerful. Pretty damn powerful. So, of course, we see MaxPax. He's going to play Mr. Gateway Man here. He understands that this is not a game where he can go quick Robotech and say, yes, I'm going to hold with the Colossus, because he does not have the money. So, Charge is going to be the name of the game. Forge as well, keeping himself as low gas as possible to mine as many minerals as possible so he can rebuild his probe count as quick as he can. Chronoing out those probes 3 at a time as well. Now, of course, this Medivac is kind of stuck here. Can't really do all that much right now. What it can do is, theoretically, once MaxPax gets distracted or when Clem's push happens and all the army has to be pulled to the front, then you drop in the natural and you double volley more probes down and really just make life rather painful for MaxPax. But Clem's stim will be done in about a minute, because he's got a third base on the way. He's going to take it at the... Well, he's going to take it on location, and at 6 minutes, it means that this is not going to be quite as committed of a 3-1-1. Normally, you get it at 7:30, so he gets a full minute and a half faster, which means, well, it's a little bit more powerful. But he's already moving out on the map with this bio ball that does not have stim, does not have combat shields, does not have +1, and that's a bit of a problem because Blink is done here. Charge is done now too. I don't think this army from Clem gets a lot done. In fact, I worry that if Clem commits too hard to this push just a little bit, it will actually just, well, it's going to bite him in the butt, because he is in a massive lead right now. But he's got the tank sieged up. He's kind of happy with it. He's just holding a position so he can start to run forward and really make Clem's or MaxPax's life miserable, because all the upgrades, they're finishing up within a second of each other. Now is the timing. Right around 7 minutes. Medivacs arrive here as well, and this is what Clem's been building up for this entire game. Good force. Oh, fantastic force fields. Half the army goes away in the blink of an eye. Charges, of course, done. So the zealots are useful, and I mean, they can do decent things, but shield battery's out of energy. It's gonna have to be shield battery overcharged next, and there we go. Going in, but Clem just gonna target things down. Zealots running forward. Widow Mines. Nice splits on one, but the other's not really gonna be there. Now the Bio's stimming forward again. A force field not really causing things to die, and as the shield battery overcharge runs out of energy, shield battery itself does not have much left to it. Clem's going to start to target this base down. Tanks shelling away on these zealots as Clem micros backwards. Now the stalkers are going to be able to get on top of these tanks. It looks like MaxPax, for the moment, he's going to be able to hold. And this drop doesn't get anything. We see this as a whole. The shield battery's out of energy. The next rally of Clem, he kept a lot of his army at home. He said, look, okay, this is a charge lot opener. I understand that in this game, your release valve is going to try to drop zealots on me, run zealots by. So he keeps his army back at home for the most part. And now it's all coming in earnest. A great big ball of bio, up 30 supply. And the question now is whether MaxPax can make the hold happen. Zealots run forward. Good splits on the Widow Mine, so only one will trigger, but still, it's not getting the big clumps just yet. The Zealot run by into the natural. Clem is going to try to make something happen. Clem slightly distracted as he looks to stim in, and not going to be that distracted though, because the Zealot ball doesn't really do much. And now the army stims forward. We're going to see the shield battery go down. Immortal and the Warp Prism just trying to get what he can. What he can get is not enough. But okay, maybe this is going to do it. Storm is on the way for MaxPax. We don't have a Ghost Academy just yet for Clem. You get some nice big juicy storms off. You kill all the low units with the rest of your zealots, and that's the problem. Hey, look at that MaxPax, the zealot run by that Clem knew about. It's going to delay the 4th base. So MaxPax slowly trying to find ways to fight his way back into this game. I mean, the army supply is a big one, and he's going to have to take another pretty good fight before he is properly able to say he's back in this game, as now the bio stims forward here, knocking down a bunch of workers. High Templar are not ready yet, and oh, so many Widow Mine shots. MaxPax tried to split, but he just did not get what he needed. More and more zealots running in. Of course, the one Immortal fighting strong, doing what it can. Storm done in 14 seconds, and that is the timing that MaxPax is living for. But folks, it doesn't matter what he's living for, because he is dying right now. High Templars get dropped. There's the storm done, and wait a minute, actually, oh, the army was so low. It forces Clem back for a second. 2 Medivacs fall. But look at the line of red across the map. That was a fantastic storm. That really was a fantastic storm, but unfortunately, Clem figured out how to seed the skies with silver. He knows how to trigger the storm and knows how to make it not rain when he actually does not want it to. But a second storm is going to fall. Not really going to get as much, but this army is very low. Medivacs really out of energy, so Clem is dodging to his heart's content. He's dodging his heart out, really. Trying to make sure that does not happen. Cyclone lock on. Ooh, Warp Prism barely stays alive. But yeah, it's not going to do it. Despite how low that army is, one storm would have swung things. Clem stays right at the edge of range, and he's up 1-0. In the bottom left in the blue, he needs a map now. He needs your support for PSISTORM of MaxPax. In the upper right, in the red, he led from wire to wire in game one. For Team Liquid, Clem. Wire to wire, post to post, pole to pole. And he's not stopping now. Proxy barracks. This one will be just for Proxy Reapers, should be. We're gonna have to see how MaxPax reacts, and most importantly, does MaxPax scout this? Where's this probe going? Now it's just going on under the other side of the map. I could see a world where MaxPax scouts that rather common proxy location because he understands that, well, this is a this is a map primed for Clem doing something crazy, right? He's up one. He's got a map to give. It's a big map. It's easier to hide proxies. Okay, we'll just be Proxy Reaper, as we said. Do I play StarCraft? I don't play Brood War, JB. I do play StarCraft 2, although not nearly as much as I would like, because balancing all this casting I do and a PhD doesn't leave a lot of time for playing. Not certainly to the level I want to play at. Here we go. Bunker in the natural. It's actually going to wall off a couple mineral lines. And that's annoying. Probe can't really get it in there, so this bunker will complete. Nice. Oh, ooh, one more shot, one more shot, one more shot. Break around the Rosie. Reaper will keep it alive. Okay. Whew. That was almost really scary. He's still my beating heart. You gotta calm down here, folks. It's getting too crazy. But the big deal is MaxPax has not built a shield battery in the natural until just now, so it's gonna be a while before he cleans this one up. Now, probe in, is that a probe? Yeah, probe in the main base continues to patrol around. Clem wasting a little bit of mining by following it with an SCV. There we go. Okay, but 2 Reapers arrive. I mean, it shouldn't be much more than that, but the Stalker is going to struggle to clear this with 2 Reapers of DPS and the shield battery only finished just now. Now this should be enough as a Marine rallies in. Oh, okay, sure, yeah, add a Marine to that. That's a lot more DPS. Suddenly this becomes much more difficult to deal with, and it will maybe even force a shield battery overcharge. Now I believe the SCV is dead, so the bunker is going to be forced out. I guess why the delay is so long, JB 76. Because those are the tournament rules, because we don't want someone stream sniping and getting a competitive advantage. So this is for competitive integrity. Also, there have been problems in the far past, maybe not in EPT Cups, but in general, where you'll have illegal bettors come in and try to place real-time bets, things like that. So that's also why we don't let, or just trolls. So it's for competitive integrity. It's for integrity of other things. The probe continues to circle. It's been in this base for 4 minutes, and a probe gets... I don't want to do the math. I forget the math is. That's a lot of money that MaxPax has just kept in this main base and really not done much with. There was what, like 25 minerals a minute? Something like that? No, that doesn't sound right. It's gotta be more than that. Got a PhD in robotics, JB76. I just linked you to the video I put together for a NASA proposal to give you an idea of what my current project is. But let's see, MaxPax. He's got Phoenix on the way. And I mean, realistically, that didn't get too much done. Although, we want Phoenix on the other side of the map. I mean, that's not hallucination, MaxPax. You have to take care of that. You do want it to stay alive. Your goal is not to let it die. There's the Reaper on the other side. But MaxPax, there we go. Charge, Forge, additional gateways. This is going to be Phoenix Charge Lot, not Phoenix Robo. And it looks like he lost the Phoenix on the other side. I mean, that was unfortunate. Not really what you want to do. Because again, your early game is secured by your Phoenix play. Your early to mid game fights are secured by your Phoenixes or your Phoenixes, and then as the game goes, you transition to your next tech and you go to Storm, and they're less relevant. But they play the role of a stalker. So they drop defense, they harass, they knock out key units. In this case, you lift them and kill them rather than you just target snipe them down and kill them, while you just have the big, bulking, bruising army of a bunch of +1 zealots running into whatever Clem has in store, which, no surprises, 3-1-1. +1 stim combat shield timing. Widowmines randomly spread out on the map are going to be obnoxious. They're going to be pretty annoying. So MaxPax, he's not going to lose the Phoenix to this, but he will take damage. And when we talk about holding the eventual Terran push, ooh, Cyclone here is going to cause a problem. It's going to target down that one Phoenix that's already low, and the lift doesn't really do much. Viking doesn't go down as well. So Clem finding a little bit more value as 2 Phoenix have died. 2 Phoenix have died over the course of this game. Yeah, MaxPax is building more, but you want every single one possible for this push that Clem is about to undergo. But again, it's not as committed as your 730 311. He takes the 3rd base faster, so less stuff in there, less, you know, there's less to the army, but he has a much stronger economic follow-up behind us. Now the Cyclone is not going to get lifted. Thought it was going to be, but the army MaxPax is a little bit too afraid of it. And look, charge is not done yet, so there is now a timing where Clem can stim in, and it's just a bunch of gateway units without any upgrades and some Phoenix, but let's be real, it's a bunch of stim Marines. Phoenix don't really care about that one. Marines are going to have to run backwards as they sectioned out by force fields. Widowmine shot first one, doesn't really get anything at all. Cyclones lock on to Phoenix, and again, don't get much, and now charge is done, so MaxPax, he has to back up. He's not going to really take a good fight anymore, but the problem with charge lot Phoenix is no one runs. You do not get to run away from this. Although, hey, nice Widow Mines. MaxPax again tries to split, but Clem's target, his trigger finger's a little bit too fast. But on the other side of the map, folks, looks like a couple zealots ran in. 8 workers went down. Clem on 41 workers, down to 39 for a second. And MaxPax sees an economy. Kind of a mirror image of what happened in game number 1, even as MaxPax has lost some Phoenix. Some Phoenix K's. But now with Storm on the way here, this composition that Clem has gone for, again, there's no Ghost Academy on the way. It does seem to be kind of this weak point of this composition. We saw a similar idea when Cure almost, well, actually, no, MaxPax. He had that game in game 1. It looked like Storm almost brought him back into it. He's going to be able to do it here because he's actually in a fine position. You know, he gets that damage done. He really doesn't take anything on the other side, but Widowmine drop into the natural seems like that got some damage done. 8 workers go down. MaxPax, he's still up 14. But losing 8 workers is not really optimal, and I believe there's an armory now. No, there's not. They're just... Probes aren't killing you. Phoenix are going to kill that one. Okay. But a Zealot run by once again, finding a little bit more value. Widowmine, it does something here, and the first Storm's not really going to get much. It softens up a lot of this army, but kills nothing. Clem now is retreating back home, has to deal with a Zealot run by on the other side of the map, although it actually looks like he's going to clean that one up for the most part. And that's unfortunate. I guess no observer, so you just sacrifice a couple Zealots to the cause. That's fine. Oh, Phoenix going to find one medevac goes down. It had most of the army still inside. Now the Zealot's going to chase from behind. You do not run from this army, Clem. You just do your best to not die, to die as well as possible, because the Phoenix is going to target it all down. Zealot chasing everything down to the ground. Lifts here, make the rest of the army explode. Pick him up, knock him down. MaxPax now up 40 supply, 30 supply. His upgrades will complete rather soon. He's got a bunch of Storms here. Widowmine is... Oh, MaxPax, you clumped up for that one. But he didn't have detection for it. But this 4th base, at the very least, this will be delayed here for a little bit. Clem now stims in, looks for what he can. But there are 2 Storms in that High Templar and that War Prism. And oh, yeah, he lifts the... Oh, my goodness. He lifts the High Energy Ghost. That means he can get Storms down. And there we go. Full center of mass of MaxPax. You devil, you god. He's going to take us to game 3. In the upper right, in the blue, tied up in the series off some glorious Phoenix play, he's MaxPax. In the bottom left, in the red, taking game 1, following the second for Team Liquid, Clem. But man, that Phoenix lift to allow your Storms to happen easier, oh, that's That is a thing of beauty. We love to see it. But now Clem, he's being even cheekier. Not Proxy Reaper this time. He's just going to say, ah, yes, eBay. Look at that. I'm going to build my home. Cleaningbot's sad, though. Cleaningbot is not allowed to go take his spot and block the base. He says, okay, well, you know what, eBay, you're going to do my job, so I'm going to headbutt you. That's fine. Still. Okay, so MaxPax is really not going to do much there. He says, yeah, let me take my third at my natural, or my natural at my third. And then, so what does this do? On the one hand, it means that MaxPax's Nexus not delayed all that much. On the other hand, it means it's a much harder position to defend Clem's harassment from. And Clem, if there's one thing he's good at, it is really anything that requires him to play fast. His harassment play, his multitasking, and things like that. Killer 9Z, you mean the Frost Giant game, right? Okay, so MaxPax learning from, I'm not going to say his mistakes, but learning from the way this series has gone. He's going to go Stargate Game 3. Worked for him pretty well in Game 2. And more importantly, if you know that Clem is rather prone to shenanigans, shall we say, predisposed to early drops, yeah, you open Stargate. You say, yeah, it's not really going to work for you, Clem. I'm going to have 4 Phoenix by the time anything happens, and your Hellions, they get lifted. Your Widow Mines, they get lifted. Your hopes and dreams, they get dashed, though. Dropped on the ground. After being lifted, of course, because that's only fair. Now, Adept finds its way into the natural, but with Marines there, 3 of them, it's not all that easy, because this was a Marine opener from Clem. Actually, somewhat surprising, considering where MaxPax was forced to take his third. I would think a Reaper would be able to get a little more damage just outrunning Adepts and things like that, but that's not what's going to happen, and Clem is doing a intrinsically Clem thing. 5 Marines, a Cyclone, run across the map, see if you can find value. If you do, great. If you don't, it's only 5 Marines. Because the Cyclone probably should not die. Or unless it, at least it probably shouldn't, unless there was, say, a Phoenix on the map that could lift it, could lock it into place. Well, maybe we have one of those things. Huh. All right, so Bio a little bit more. Clem's just rallying across the map. This is really weird, but maybe this is a good way to beat Phoenix play. There's not a lot of stuff on the ground for MaxPax right now. He has to stay around his static defense, and he doesn't have quite enough the critical mass on his Phoenix count just yet to really just lift everything and fight it and say, yeah, good luck. So Clem continues to rally Marines across, continues to rally Cyclones across. There's a 3rd Cyclone on the way as Stim gets started up here. A weird build from Clem, but I see a world where this works, absolutely. I see a world where MaxPax smashes it as well. I'm not really sure how to think about it. But now, okay, so lock-on's on the additional static defense, but MaxPax will force it back. Clem is still very afraid of these lifts, regardless of the fact that he's a lot of Marines. But hey, that's going to be nice. Free probe goes down, and he's going to really try to occupy this position between the natural and the 3rd base. Lock-on the Adept, really not getting much. Lock-on on the Stalker, also not getting all that much. But okay, lock on the Phoenix again. We're gonna keep saying he's gonna do the lock on. It's not gonna get much, but he does kill probes. I almost feel like I want to see Clem run in the main base. I feel like that is almost the play because we're hitting critical mass of Phoenix where it's not all that great. Immortals are on the way here as well, but he did pop shield battery overcharge, and maybe that is gonna be a timing for the young Frenchman, for the little corporal. And now Clem backs up. Okay. Oh, take back those lock-on the Cyclones. Do we have a scan? No. Okay. But now tanks arrive. This is starting to become pretty threatening here for Clem, but I also feel like MaxPax is just starting to have enough. I mean, he has 2 shield batteries. He has an Immortal. He has all the stuff on the ground. He's got a bunch of Phoenix. Colossus on the way. I feel like whenever MaxPax feels like he has enough, he's just going to be able to roll right on through this. But, I mean, it is still a scary position. A tank right there is not the easiest thing to get on top of. That's what the Phoenix are for, but 3 Cyclones make that very hard for you to really find that value that you're looking for. Now, one shield battery goes down. Second one is still up. Shield battery overcharge popped. Is MaxPax trying to take a good fight here. Cyclone's locking on not the Phoenix. That's what's important. Tanks get lifted as well. MaxPax looking for the break right here, right now from the shenanigans, the rampant, unchecked tomfoolery of Clem in this game, and it will be successful. Cyclones go down, Marines go down. Clem forced back. What does he have beyond that? He has Timius combat shields. Sure, his +1's on the way. Sure, his third base as well. But that was... I can't imagine that Clem is ahead after that. There's a bunch of... There we go. A bunch of Marines get lifted. He's not going to get the tank, which is the true prize, because a bunch of bio from Clem's rally stims on forward. But by the time the next fight happens, MaxPax will continue to have tons and tons of Phoenixes. He's still building them. He's up at 7 right now. Probably going to go up to like 9. You will have multiple Colossus on the field. He already has one. Second one on the way. Oh, sorry. Third one on the way. You will probably have extended thermal lance. It may not be done just in time, but you will certainly have it almost done. And this is just a really... Clem had an idea. He did the kitchen sink. Unfortunately, the kitchen sink cracked. Kitchen sink was not repaired properly, and it just went spraying everywhere. And now Clem is desperately trying to take some flex tape to it, to put it back together. Fortunately for Clem, this may be some off-brand flex tape. May not work all that well. Okay, now Clem going to take the third base here, and, well... Phoenix don't get medevacs, but that's their job right now. Getting SCVs, nice, sure. If they can knock down a tank, fantastic. But their target, their primary goal, as Clem situates himself for the next stage of this game, kill medevacs. Remove the healing from the map, remove the ability to reposition from the map. Oh, Marauder will not go down. But at least forcing energy out of those medevacs can always be considered nice. And MaxPax, now it's his turn to get aggressive. He does not have charge. So I don't really think he breaks this. But he's going to try to anyway. His tanks get lifted up. He's going to say, oh, wait, there are more tanks there. Nope, nope, back the hell on up. Run away. Not working. Not worth it. You need charge to break that one, MaxPax. You can't do it on Phoenix Colossus alone. So he techs up. Can take his fourth base soon. Templar Archives on the way. Charge about halfway done. +1 the same. But he will be moving into Storm here, I got to imagine. Storm in general has become more popular as of late as like a second level of splash. Disruptors would actually be rather good here because Disruptors can deal with tanks pretty well. They sit on the edge of range, and of course tanks, their range is further than their vision. So you can just kind of sit in that dark spot where the tanks can maybe see you for half a second, but you send the shots off, 2 Disruptors kill a tank, and it can be a good way to break a sieging Terran, much in the same way that, say, Liberators are really good against Disruptors. Same idea. Yeah, the range is pretty similar, but it doesn't match up favorably for the Disruptor player or the tank player in this case. Or MaxPax just going to build a bunch of Archons and look for a bust. Because, folks, you do not build Archons in PvT unless you are expecting to use them. Chekhov's gun. Let not the Archon built in the second act be unfired in the third, or be unutilized, I guess, in the third act. And despite how weird that opener was, MaxPax and Clem are pretty equal on supply counts. Clem has done a very good job of turtling up from here. And yes, charge is done. Yes, +1 is done. +2 on the way, of course. And we should see a second forge pretty soon. But MaxPax should not try to break this. This is not, at least not in a full frontal attack. It's just not going to work. There are too many tanks. There's too much stuff that deals with zealot charge. Running into this one would just be a mistake. But here's where he wants to kill his opponent, or at least here's where he wants to find value. As the fourth base looks to get taken, tanks are not where they need to be. This cannot be allowed, or MaxPax should not allow this to land for the time being. He's got a warp set up for the main base as well, although there are Marines here, and yeah, this is just not a position that Clem really can defend right now, but he gets his tanks forward a little bit. MaxPax rather recalcitrant, rather hesitant to go try to take that base. Rather, or hesitant to take the fight. But certainly, the fights become more possible as base number increases. For holding 3 bases on hardwire, sure, fine, easy. Holding 4 becomes a little more complicated. You only have so much supply. Certainly holding 5 becomes more difficult still. And it looks like the 3rd base for Clem might be a little bit open right now. There's only 1.5 tanks defending. We can drop in the main base, warp in the main base here. Zealots are going to get cleaned up pretty quickly. Clem on top of that, losing the warp prism too, and that's unfortunate. So much. What's MaxPax's win condition now? I don't really think he breaks Clem off his 4 bases. He can try to catch Clem as he looks to take a 5th, but that makes this game go a lot longer. Does he go and just trade cost inefficiently on his 84 probes? But it's not like Clem has an economy that's that much worse, at least in terms of worker count. He's got mules. MaxPax is only up 1 base, not 2 or 3. That would really power that aggressive style. And now, hey, Clem's going to get active on the map here. He says, yeah, this is nice timing. I have not my 2-2, but I have ghosts, and I'm maxed out. So if I maxed out, might as well do something with it. And also, the Vikings are rather uncontested. The time where the Phoenix can really deal with this is not all that much. Nice disruptor shot to start, though, and that's going to make it a little hard for Clem to show up on the high ground. But yeah, MaxPax, this is the solution. He says, yeah, if you're going to turtle up like this, Clem, that's fine. I'm going to take like every base on the map. So he's got 2 bases on the way pretty soon. There we go. 2nd Nexus dropping. Clem scouts the 1st one immediately. And he scans the main. But I feel like we want to see MaxPax go into SkyToss a little bit here. That has kind of been the late game Protoss idea for a while now. And it can be really good or really not good. Depends on the control, depends on the game state. It looks like a bunch of Zealots maybe into the mineral line. Yeah, they're going to find Ghosts. They get shredded. But now the rocks are down. MaxPax can rotate a little bit easier. Widowmine is going to target down these Ghosts, actually. And oh, that's a lot of dead Ghosts on the left side. That's not really what you want, Clem, but he's going to go for the big surrounding. He makes Colossus a little bit off the side. And you got to be careful there. Zealot's forcing backwards. 1 Colossus will fall down to the Vikings, but MaxPax, this is his best opportunity to trade out his army and just force the economy of Clem to suffer. Big disruptor shots as well. And more Zealots arrive. There we go. Clem, he takes another big shot. And MaxPax, as the Zealots run in, this is starting to become a problem for Clem. The supplies are relatively equal. But a lot of that supply from Clem is A, in the sky, or B, in production. And somehow that 1 Colossus still stays alive. For just a little bit longer. Of course, MaxPax down on 2 upgrades, which is a bit scary. When you're playing this gateway heavy style, you do want to have good upgrades. Zealots run in though, and you know, upgrades, at least the armor versus the attack upgrades are pretty well matched. Oh, wait a minute here. The base is going to go down. It's getting target fired here. SCV on the repair, but it's still burning. Zealots, though, they got to run back. They have to be afraid. They have to stay safe. And DT's blink is done. They don't want to move in just yet. So Clem is his economy not in the best spot. But he's turtling damn hard. This is just a rehash of what happened in Rainer versus MaxPax. And I mean, Rainer almost won that one, but MaxPax is going to get another base here. Blinks in. A couple of these DTs should go down as the EMP covers them, and they're not cloaked for a while. But now it is MaxPax back on 4 bases, another set of EMPs, but they're going to be fine. MaxPax rotating over to the right side, trying to kill off the other extra base, the other planetary that Clem has built for himself. Now, it doesn't quite have the bursting potential here, but disruptor shots are going to do a nice job of just zoning this army out. Ooh, big shots to start. Landed Vikings, by the way, are probably the worst unit against disruptors. I think that's fair. Probably the worst unit. But Clem's still on 5 bases. Bases says, oh yeah, I got an orbital, that's fun. Disruptors are going to kill these tanks, though, and that opens this push up a little bit more. Liberators are still scary. Especially once you have range, and especially if you +2 attack, which this one does, but Stalkers blink forward. Liberators go down anyways. Big disruptor shots to start. Clem looking for that flank. And we need to see some reinforcements here because the army of Clem moving forward. EMPs are damn fine. It looks like DTs in the mid side. They're going to find more value before the tanks explode them. But DTs in the main, Zealots in the main. MaxPax putting absolute truth to the idea that if your opponent's going to turtle, don't attack them in the face over and over again, but tear them apart. Now disruptor shots running in on these SCVs, trying desperately to keep the planetary alive. Stalkers blink forward. That's a bit of a ballsy blink there. The planetary goes low, does not die. Clem continues to take damage from these DTs, from these disruptors, from pretty much everything he's got. Scans get dropped, but the DT should be able to escape. And MaxPax, it honestly seems like he's handling this game better than he handled the late game versus Raynor. Now, I don't know how Raynor got there. That was not a game I saw. Because MaxPax just warped in ludicrous amounts. Was that like 15 zealots? Yeah, 15 zealots. Hey, we got it right. Warps in 15 zealots at a time, because when you have bank, might as well spend it. Now 11 DTs. Oh, that's a lot of gateways. That's a lot of stuff. So MaxPax is in the business of hitting Clem with his wallet. Now rotating over onto this planetary once again. Disruptors again, killing more SCVs. While that happens, I mean, it's always nice. Disruptors, they gotta have to get some good shots here, otherwise MaxPax will be forced to back up. Snipes on these Zealots, because why not? And it's interesting how many tanks still exist in this game, and now DTs are gonna knock down this Mr. really quickly. So another 9 SCVs go down. MaxPax, he's just trying to find his opponent in a corner. It is impressive, though, how well Clem has held on. I mean, Turtle Terran, you can say as much as you want about it, but at the end of the day, this is a game where MaxPax has been miles and miles ahead. And the fact that Clem is still in this game is tremendously impressive. MaxPax, though, taking more bases. I want him to start taking bases from Clem, honestly. If you're going to be in a game site like this, steal money from your opponent. It enables far more inefficient trading than you might otherwise see. But 3 disruptors on the way at a time. All the upgrades eventually. +2 armor, +1 shields. MaxPax has to be careful because this army... Oh, big disruption shot. Clem is not paying attention on that one, so he's going to get a massive stuff. We're talking about how the army of MaxPax is maybe not the most encouraging, but DT's on the right side. They're going to kill this planetary that has been trying to survive for so damn long, but finally it will fall. The tank should die as well once the DTs... They deign to kill it. And now Clem back down on 4 bases. He has no planetaries, nothing to really keep his mineral lines alive all that easily. 51 workers to his name, very little mining. And despite this, despite the fact that he's been mining less, it's not a game where he's been trading more efficiently. He's down 2K. Zealots now running in. Disruptors flanking in from behind. Can Clem kill them all? The answer is actually yes. So that's a bit of a mistake there. MaxPax, he thought he had a good idea, but he sent his shots out just a little bit too late. Clem making MaxPax pay a heavy price for that one. I don't really think it changes the game state all that. I mean, it buys Clem a little time maybe. But still, that was MaxPax maybe being a little bit antsy. And now with this base getting lifted, there really is not a lot of mining for our Terran player anymore. But as the Liberators look to run forward, this is actually going to force MaxPax off this freshest base that he's taken. But there are 3 probes in there, not the biggest of deals. And now again, the army moves forward. It's really hard to deal with +2 Liberators. With, I believe... Oh no, they don't have Liberator range. But just +2 Liberators by themselves are pretty scary, especially when you drop EMPs. I mean, Stalkers effectively get 1 shot. But on the other side of the map, Zealots, DTs are removing, excising this economy of Clem. It's surgical precision. And it doesn't really matter with how... Unless Clem wins the game with this army, it really will not matter how much damage Clem gets done, because MaxPax sitting at 4K minerals in the bank. He can just flood, really, Zealots over and over again until his opponent dies. And now the Stalker's on the high ground. Disruptor shots are... Oh, there we go. That's it. Yep, that's absolutely it. The Disruptors kill their last in the bio, and that's, folks, MaxPax is in the finals.